I named my album Threads because it's really sort of a travel in time from when I was a very little girl dreaming about being a musician and listening to records, like full-form records, to now. And I mean, it really kind of captures my whole musical journey. And I've asked people to be a part of it that have been a part of that journey. People I know and people who've inspired me. Everyone from James Taylor, who was, one of the first records I ever listened to, all the way up to like Brandy Carlisle. So it's, for me, a very emotional record and an emotional experience making it over the course of 3.5 years. This record really started off with my working with Chris Christopherson, and it moved me so much that for a person now who's not making new memories, he has either a tick-borne kind of dementia or maybe Alzheimer's or something like that, but it's affected his memory. To work with someone like that music is really the thread all the way back to the memories that he has from way back when. To me, that's what started the whole record, and I just decided I wanted more of that relationship with people that I've loved through the years. And so I started making a list and calling people like Stevie Nicks. I felt like, of course, we're only going to get a few out of the list, and strangely, people just kept saying yes. I mean, Mavis Staples and Bonnie Raitt and, like I said, James Taylor and Keith Richards and Willie Nelson and Emmylou Harris. But I also wanted to reach into the future to people that I've gotten to know that I feel like are really carrying on the tradition of making the kind of music that I love, like Chris Stapleton and Brandy and Maren Morris and Margot and so many great young artists as well. So it's just an amazing group of people that are featured on the record. The people that I asked, I didn't feel reluctant to ask them because they are all people that I've known. I mean, I really wanted to get Aretha Franklin on the record, and she was in really poor health and then ultimately wound up passing away. But I really did feel her, she inspired me through part of the record, particularly while making The Story of Everything. And Gary Clark and Andra Day are on it, and also Chuck D, who is somebody I've known for 25 years from my early Rock the Vote days. So just asking people and telling them right off the bat, you have you will not hurt my feelings, and I will still love you if you say no. We made it over the course of 3.5 years, and we had no time restraints, not to mention we didn't even have a record label. So it was just like, we don't know what we're doing and how it's gonna work. But, and some people I flew to meet, and some people came here. Some people we did it through, fiber optics or whatever. We just did it in a number of different ways. I mean, I would love to have been in the room with every single person, but everybody that I know is constantly all over the world. Yeah, I mean, I have so many stories from the making of this record, from hanging out with Keith Richards in New York City during the presidential debates. That was really interesting. And also, obviously, Chris Christopherson coming into my studio. He's somebody I've known for 26 years. Keith, interestingly enough, and talk about threads, I was a young school teacher, and I went to see Hail, Hail, Rock and Roll in St. Louis. I was teaching in St. Louis. And Steve Jordan was on drums, and Keith Richards obviously was producing the whole thing. And then cut to 30 years later, and there I am, Steve Jordan producing my record. I'm recording with Keith, doing a Keith song. So, there are lots of those little stories. My seeing Bonnie Raitt for the first time when I was 17 and seeing her play guitar and realizing, oh, a girl can rock an electric guitar. And then there we were in the studio recording. So there's just so many incredible stories like that. Don Henley was there in the very, very earliest of days. I moved to LA as a young school teacher. About 6 months later, I started getting session work as a jingle singer, did some record dates, wound up getting an audition with Michael Jackson, went on the road with him, and when I came home, Don Henley hired me to sing for him. And he actually is the first person that ever said, after hearing my songs, stop giving your songs away. I had a publishing deal, had to make money, was waiting tables. And he said, stop giving your songs to other artists and save them for yourself. And he's the person that actually got me a development deal and was there in the early beginnings. So it's wonderful to be able to call him a friend. The young people that are on this record, I really do feel blessed that in the last 5 to 10 years, I've been on the bill with not only a lot of my heroes, but also this young crop that are coming up that I feel like are carrying that tradition of being truth tellers, like Gary. I mean, Gary's just written a really beautiful, very outspoken record. And Annie Clark, I mean, she's mind-blowing. I mean, she's such a fully realized artist and just a badass guitar player, and she's fantastic. And when I wrote this song about sort of the inconvenience of truth and how that's started to seep into our political dialogue, I sent her the song, Would Want to Be Like You, and she just killed it. So those experiences of getting to be inspired by these young people and getting to share in something, for me, is what it's all about. Particularly as an older artist, it really makes me feel energized. I wrote a song called Prove You Wrong with a couple of buddies of mine and had it for a while, and when we were making our dream list, Stevie was right at the top of the list. I mean, I've known Stevie for I don't know, maybe 20 years, and got to produce some tracks on her and have toured with her. So I called her and asked her if she would do this, and then when we finished it, we had always dreamed about putting a Wilburys thing together, Stevie and I. So I kind of floated the idea past her of inviting this young girl who's just an incredible songwriter, but also, to me, sort of in the tradition of Stevie, in that she's really fierce and she really makes this great connection with her audience and writes great songs. And so I said, let's put Maren Morris on it, and that's what we did. We did it in 3 different places, but it all came together, and it sounds right. I don't have any favorite songs on the record, but I would say that Redemption Day is, for me, probably the most profound and humbling experience I've ever had, with taking a song that I wrote and recorded in 1997, and then Johnny Cash recorded it in 2002, and then being able to bring it together in a new form and have it be speaking to what's going on in the world now. It just wipes me out emotionally. It's just very profound. The aspect that makes me most proud on this record is that it journeys to me what it means to be a young kid in a 3-stoplight town, wondering what life could be if you could get out of that town and play music, and that all of the information you have about that, all the images in your head, come from the albums that you own, and how it's possible. I mean, I'm standing here having made a record with people whose records I owned when I was 7 years old. It stops me in my tracks just to think of that girl, and that there are girls and young boys everywhere who hear their heroes making records and think, this is what I want to do. This is my ticket out.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more videos from your favorite artist. And while you're here, check out these other videos.